Let's move on very quickly to another very, very important piece. If you're watching this show early in the morning, like we are creating this show for you, that means that you're possibly headed off to office. This next section is about public transport. We wanted to talk a little bit about the methods in which women travel to work and how they feel about it. Remember, more than 80%, according to one recent survey, of women use public transport to their work back and fro in India. That's a very, very high statistic, and we only bring it to you, spotlight it to you, to show that public transport is used by the common woman every single day. But how woman-friendly do women feel public transport is? Take a look at those numbers on your screen. Less than half feel like public transport is women-friendly. That's 44%. At neutral, you have 29%. Those are the women who didn't feel like it was safe or highly unsafe. And then, as you can see on your screens, 27% saying that they felt it was highly unsafe. Let's move over very quickly now to the next data set. How safe do you feel traveling alone on public transport during the daytime first? Take a look. 70% of women saying they feel very safe traveling in any kind of public transportation, whether that is a bus, as you can see, whether that is a metro in a city like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata. 25% saying they felt neutrally about this, and 5% saying unsafe. Then we asked them, and this is that important other side to this question: how safe do you feel traveling alone on public transport? The same question, but this time at night time. Just want to remind you, earlier when we asked this at day, 70 plus said they felt safe. That number, again, we're seeing this pattern again and again, that number plummeting. 36% of women saying they feel safe in the night time, neutral at 33%, and 31%, as you can see, saying they feel highly unsafe. Then we asked them this question: is the public transportation in your city, does it feel safer than using a ride-hailing app? So what we mean when we say a ride-hailing app is obviously an Uber and Ola. These apps, do you feel like public transport is safer than that? 49% say they agree, 38% feel neutral about this question, and 13% disagree. Okay, those are the transport numbers. Let's go over very quickly once again to the experts who are joining us to provide us with insight on this. We'll go over to Dr. Kanupriya first to understand a little bit about this question. Dr. Kanupriya, I just want to come to you with that last question first. Just explain to our audiences the thinking there. Some could argue that ride-hailing apps feel safer because you're alone in a ride-hailing app. But some could argue that public infrastructure feels safer because you're surrounded by people. So tell us a little bit about the thought behind this question and help us read deeper into those numbers.
Okay. So again, the perspective of having this question here was the ongoing debate and discussion that is there around which modes of transportation are safer for women and which are not. And again, if you can see at the numbers, there is again a neutral mixed response that's coming in, which suggests that 49%, like again, the majority are disagreeing with this, and they, 51%, would actually in a way say that public transportations would actually be much more safer than the ride-hailing apps. So again, the why we had this particular because we need to dig in deeper and understand that when we talk about public safety, public transportation, then we cannot completely ignore the other modes of transport, like the hailing apps which people are using versus the other public transport like bus and trains that normally people travel through.
And are far more affordable in comparison.
Exactly.
Okay, let's just go over to Dr. Kiran Bedi right now to also get her expertise on this answer. Dr. Bedi, we were talking about this a little earlier. We're seeing that pattern again, nighttime, the numbers falling. In this situation, when we're looking at transport, where do you feel as a country, I mean, there's so many different parameters, but how do you feel we as a country can improve?
Use greater technology. I think we are now, the buses also have cameras. Public transport also has cameras. The key is analysis. I think we all have cameras, but not many get back to save and analyze. You have an analytics expert here, you can ask her. The analysis is missing. If there's a regular analysis, do you remember one day there was a great story from Tihar jail when the particular gangster there was a murder inside the prison, and this report did come on the camera, but nobody watched it. Nobody analyzed it. And it was a preventable one. So no point having a camera, public camera, if you're not going to watch it regularly and analyze it and review it and also save the footage. So I think technology is an answer, because technology as eyes, our eyes which are never getting tired. Human eyes do get tired, but the technology doesn't get tired. And it is 24/7. So today buses, public transport today has cameras. And in fact, the best of the police detection is coming thanks to technology, because of face recognition. Now you can even recognize faces if they are on past record. So camera technology is important. But wherever, we've seen most of the crimes have happened where the bus is less occupied, public is thinly occupied, or probably the woman is the only one or only one or two as passengers. I think that should be avoidable to the extent possible. Try not to be the only one. You see, most of the Nirbhaya cases, etc., if you remember, she was the only one. So I think that's where that gives the space to the person who are probably getting tempted or getting evil in their own mind. So I think that's important, is that when the woman rides a bus at night particularly, and she feels she's the only one, I think that's a time she has to be very, very alert, because that's not safe, not necessarily safe. So I think, the timing, during the day, there is a crowd, so she doesn't feel unsafe. But during the night, the safety percentage is now, unsafety percentage is higher. That's the reason. So I think she also needs to be alert and careful and not put herself into a provocative situation while cameras work. But I must also say that public transport also must understand your survey and analyze why. Why do the women feel unsafe during the later hours of the evening? Why? I think that why is important. You have to go, probably you can also consider going beyond the why. You got a percentage, let's now explore why. That why is the root cause of the problem. And if the why is further analyzed and corrected, which would then take the safety forward. We must now go to the analysis of the root causes of women feeling unsafe in these places. The why will give you the solutions and provide better security.
Dr. Bedi, thank you for that insight. Let's go back to Dr. Kanupriya. You talked about the importance of looking deeper in the numbers. Let's do that with Dr. Kanupriya. Dr. Kanupriya, our audiences, we've highlighted 2 sets of data for them. There was actually a lot more in terms of deeper research in this area. What insight did that data provide you with?
Interestingly, just like Dr. Kiran just mentioned, CCTVs, and it is something that should be an integral part of the society as a whole. And women have actually spontaneously mentioned in our surveys when we interviewed them that they do feel that, the lighting can improve in their vicinity. The CCTV cameras are either, they are there but non-functional, or they need to be put at certain places, which, will automatically give women that confidence. So this will be a very good infrastructural development, which will, when we see maybe at a later stage when we do our next rounds of our survey,
you're going to be expanding.
We will be expanding this. So that will be very interesting to see if that's some improvements are done in these areas to bring in an inclusive environment for women. We might actually see that nighttime safety perception might also improve. So the entire aim of an objective of the study is to suggest the policy makers maybe to come up with areas and identify areas where we need to have certain infrastructure in place so that an inclusive environment is conducive for the women.
Okay, Dr. Kanupriya, thank you for highlighting
Let me add something very interesting.
Yes, please, go ahead, Dr.
When a woman is in a bus, particularly in the evening, late hours, and she feels insecure a little, or there's no harm. If she's sitting in Ola or other car, Uber or taxi or a three-wheeler or in a bus, and she feels, let her call up her relative saying, I am here, this is the number of the TSR, or this is the bus route I am on, this is for your information. That will alert the driver because that will become traceable. So she can use the phone she has, inform the near and dear ones or the friend, even if it's faking.
Absolutely.
Even if it's faking. Saying, I'm on route, bus route number यार, ये यहाँ से यहाँ जा रहा है और ये उसकी driver की पीछे से फोटो है, पीछे से फोटो है. So no harm. That raises the fear of getting traced, and that will be preventive. So let her use the very good technology weapon she has in her own hands. Even if the bus doesn't have it, you have the camera. You can even video record it. You can even video record the bus from behind and say, I'm in this. मैं अकेली हूँ, मैं यहाँ अकेली हूँ, लेकिन मैं यहाँ ठीक महसूस कर रही हूँ, लेकिन मैं आपको बता रही हूँ मैं इस रूट पे हूँ. I'm on this route and this is the time of the bus and this is how it's looking. You will see it works as prevention. Three-wheeler, taxi, or otherwise, even on the road. So no harm getting yourself documented on your iPhone or your phone which you have. So use that technology.
Okay, Dr. Bedi, we're not letting you go, and Dr. Kanupriya, stay with us. We're heading into a quick break. On the other side, we continue to bring you these numbers. We're heading deeper into this research. We've looked already at transport, we've looked at neighborhoods. But next, where you're heading to right after this, your workplace, your education space, we take a look in just a few minutes. Do stay with us.